Three, two, one, and we're live. Welcome once again to HeroQuest fans. Wow, twice in one day we've been streaming. Let me update the title here. Okay, so we are not doing a live quest right now. Well, not quite. We're actually doing a news roundup. So a lot of news in the world of HeroQuest fans. And Amalgamash, you beat me. You beat me to it. I was trying to do a video. I was trying to beat you and do an exclusive, but I had internet problems. I know it sounds like the guy saying he lost the race because his shoes were untied. The sun was in his eyes. He had stuff in his pockets. Anyway, that was an awesome video that was put out by Amalgamash recently talking about the Dwarf Quest Pack and the Wizard Quest Pack. And of course, Luca Pasci, as we've covered before on this channel, famously acquired draft notes from whoever had archived them from former Hasbro employees. Would have been Milton Bradley, but part of Hasbro back in the day. Back at the death of HeroQuest, the public death of HeroQuest. And that's the story that I don't know much about. I don't know why HeroQuest went away in 1993, 94. I mean, you had the Barbarian and ElfQuest packs, but apparently they were only around for a short time. A lot of people talk about seeing them in stores, but for the most part, I mean, there were stories about extra copies just being destroyed at the factory, employees walking away with, tidbits from the, sculptures that they used, the 3-ups and 4-ups they used to make the miniatures, and just a lot of sad kids receiving letters back, when they tried to order it through the mail saying, sorry, this quest pack is no longer in production. And HeroQuest just kind of fading away. I mean, you had the obscure Amiga game, Amiga CD32 and computer game Legacy of Sorasil, but who remembers that? It wasn't even that great of a game, and it was very tangentially related to HeroQuest. I mean, in the UK you had the third Dave Morris novel in 93, but in the US it was the Barbarian Quest Pack, the Elf Quest Pack, and then nothing. We didn't get ads for the Dwarf, for the Wizard, nothing. So there's been all this speculation lately that the Dwarf Quest Pack is going to be next. And why do people think that? Well, because it's been Hasbro's practice lately to have Zargon, which is the personality of the Twitter account, and I don't do much on Twitter. I rely on other people to report it. The Twitter account for Hasbro is Zargon. Well, not for Hasbro itself, I guess for HeroQuest. I should correct myself. HeroQuest on Twitter. And I think I've always thought of him as being Doug Hopkins because he said something. I want to say it was Doug Hopkins said this. So my mind could be playing tricks on me. He was saying, oh, I've been locked out of my account by Zargon. I think that was him that said it. So I just assumed, oh, of course, he's the character. But he may be speaking truthfully. There may be a different person in marketing there who is the Zargon personality. But anyway, a lot of times the stuff he says, they're just silly jokes. But his comments get dissected to mean, oh, he's dropping hints. He's leaking little details, teasing us about stuff. So somebody asks, are we going to get Egyptian furniture in a furniture pack for HeroQuest? Remember those conversations we had on Covert Nerd? It's like, well, they're probably going to release more of these little packs. We're going to get extra heroes, which we have, maybe extra furniture. So instead of Egyptian furniture, he said, well, what about Elvish or Dwarvish furniture? Someone's like, Dwarvish furniture? Uh-oh. This means the Dwarf Quest Pack is next, because we already know about the Elf Quest Pack. We don't know when it's going to be remade. So we kind of went off on this long tangent, and we've got in Carmine there, we've got people who could chime in and say, nope, you're wrong. Of course, on the other hand, the fact that they're not saying that means like, does that mean we're right? Well, anyway, going back to Luca Pasci's story. So Luca Pasci required all these draft notes that were sold online from former people who held on to them of the Dwarf Quest Pack, the Wizard Quest Pack, and also draft notes from the Barbarian and Elf Quest packs. And so that's how, when we were discussing the errata, before the release of the Frozen Horror, the re-release of the Frozen Horror this year, which today is the release day, August 1st, even though it's been out, we were talking about the draft notes, like how they made suggestions that were not in the final version, like overcome some of these problems in the pack, like escaping the Yeti hold and so forth. Well, anyway, I'm most interested in that cutting rooms floor stuff. And Amalgamash did a great video. Definitely go check him out on YouTube. And I see he's coming back on Twitch too, which is encouraging. Love to see his content. Anyway, he talked a lot about stuff that was like hinted at, stuff that might happen. So I'm really wondering. I mean, Gen Con is the big convention. I'm not going to be there, but it's the 4th through the 7th in Indianapolis, I believe, Indiana. Anyway, if you're going, please let us know what you find out. They're going to make some big reveals there, some big announcements, so we'll find out for sure what they're really planning. Are they going to be releasing this Dwarf Quest pack? Is the Wizard Quest pack going to come out? Are they going to acknowledge that there are fans out there that know about these things? And then the question becomes, if they do release these new packs, are they going to have a problem with the fact that fans are like working on these? Because as Luca Pasci noted, there's a group of fans that actually know about these notes and are working on finishing these quest packs, like fan completions of them. Not to sell, of course, but just to release, to say, hey, based on these lost drafts, here would have been maybe something that we could have seen, what might have been in 1993. But now if Hasbro makes it, are they going to base it on the draft notes? Maybe they have some notes that we never got. Maybe there's a more finished version that they would be releasing. So ours would just be like a beta and theirs would be the final thing. I hope they don't see that as competition. Or are they just going to use the concept of having a themed quest pack for each hero and just make something completely original? And that'd be okay too. I guess either way it'd be fine. But I think it's really awesome that these notes exist and you can kind of get a glimpse into the past. You can get a glimpse into the world of fantasy board game making, because we don't know what it's like. I mean, these guys have worked for these companies for however many years, and it's like, as fans, all we do is we see the finished product, we see the press releases, we can only guess what it's really like. And they're only allowed to say so much, tell us, the public, because there's trade secrets and all that stuff. But anyway, I'm really excited to hear about it. Anyway, so yeah, Amalgamash and I are having an imaginary feud over the exclusives. But one thing that he said in his video that I had forgotten completely about, and I don't even know if I picked that up the first time I saw these notes, is that all of the European figures, so like from Against the Ogre Horde and Wizards of Morcar, which were only released in Europe, not in North America, all of those miniatures would have been released in the North American releases, because I think was he Mike B or Mike G? Anyway, I'm forgetting the names. They're all kind of blurring together, but it was a very small team of people. I think they had like one guy in charge, and then they had like one person basically working on each of the 4 packs. And I don't know if they had like an editor or something that kept everything straight, but they took the European miniatures from those 2 packs, and they were just saying, okay, we're going to use these somewhere. And they were looking at the cards, and they were taking the concepts. Because you'll notice there's a lot of overlap. A lot of the chaos spells that appeared in Wizards of Morcar are used by the bad guys in the quest packs, that we're talking about here. The 2 that were released and the 2 that were not released. And the Wizard quest pack was almost finished. So actually, the fans have like put that together. They've actually put together a quest book of what it would have looked like, with the symbol colors and everything. And people have made their own art to fill in the gaps. And there's a couple of things that were iffy. It's like, okay, was it option A or option B? Like, we'll just vote on one. We'll pick one. So it's like, okay, would we have picked the same thing that they did? Who knows? But as close as we could to thinking, something that would be playable and fun. So there's actually plans to release that to the public eventually. And Luca Pasci is making his own plans, but I think they're thinking about releasing maybe the first quest. Not sure when, but sometime soon, hopefully. Anyway, I can let him speak to that. But the Wizard, that was the Wizard quest pack. So that's awesome. That's basically done. Just some artwork, I think, is all that's left for like some of the cards and things. Because if you don't have any art, I mean, they were just taking artwork from the European packs and just photocopying it, and they had some crude drawings, but That was it. I think there was some other artwork, like there was a sketch of the female wizard, but that artist just said, no, you can't use my work. Like, even if it's a fan project, even if it's, just freely distributed, I don't want you to use it. So, like, okay, respect that. That's one example. There's miniatures out there of some of the things which I've shown, but the point is, that was almost done. But the Dwarf Quest pack is only half done. So my thing is, I wonder if Hasbro actually has more than we know. Like, maybe they have the other half, or maybe they have the whole thing, or they have it further along. And I mean, for all we know, if it's going to be, we don't know if it's going to be announced, first of all. But if they do, maybe it's already done. Maybe they're just waiting to announce it. Like, how cool would that be? But this is all just idle speculation. I don't know. Hey, welcome, Striker667. Welcome, Dr. Pippin. Scotty Pippin? Yeah, so welcome to HeroQuest fans. So we're speculating about Gen Con again. And we're giving a shout out to Amalgamash and his awesome video. And a shout out to Luca Pasci for leaking yet more cool documents from that stash he got from the unfinished, unreleased Wizard Quest pack, Dwarf Quest pack. So the question is, I am so sure that their plan, if HeroQuest keeps selling, and so they still have, the project doesn't die, that they will release these packs. But the question is, will they be doing something completely original, or will they be doing something based on the old drafts? Maybe further along than we have it, or maybe they have the same stuff, because why wouldn't they photocopy the stuff before they just throw it out, So I guess either way it would be pretty cool. I mean, on the one hand, it'd be acknowledging the fan community, but I mean, they wouldn't necessarily have to go with our solutions. They probably just do their own stuff. Or they do something completely new and there'd just be two versions of it. Nobody would be confused. Just be like, oh, there's two Dwarf Quest packs. There's the official one, and then there's the fan one that's based on old drafts. You have something similar like in the world of Star Wars, like the Star Wars drafts, like old screenplays. I think they were leaked originally, and then eventually they got published. But for a long time, fans had these, and then I think they made one of them into a comic book and sold it. So, I mean, it ended up kind of coming full circle. The movies didn't change as a result, but you had other, because of the fan interest in that stuff. I mean, I'm super interested in the cutting room floor stuff for the Barbarian Quest pack and the Elf Quest pack, which I would love to talk about. But I feel like I should do something visual because I'm just talking away about all this stuff. I'm so excited. So a couple of things to talk about first. So there was actually another release. So you remember in my previous video, I spoke briefly about this, what I called a piece of swag, the Adventure Design Kit. Well, they finally released it for real. So I presume this is going to be some kind of flyer that's given out at Gen Con. It almost looks like it could go on a t-shirt or something. I was thinking, well, maybe this is just a screenshot of a like an app program where you can click and drag these icons onto the map and make your own quest, but really just more like a fun, like, hey, remember the Adventure Design Kit from the European stuff? Because I'm using an actual box you could buy. It's like a primer on making quests. Primer. But right here, it's just more like, well, you could write your quest in there, and you could use those icons as kind of a guide to draw it, hand draw it yourself, because they're too big and there's just not enough of them. But anyway, that's there, and you can download the PDF. Awesome. So it could be a teaser of things to come, though. For all we know, they're gonna. This is maybe one component of several things that'll be announced at Gen Con. I think it'd be super cool if they showed us more stuff than just what's been shown already, but I'm excited to hear what's going to happen. So I'm hoping that the stream is okay. Now Violet says, just got home a little bit ago, I haven't had a chance to see Ash's video. We'll definitely go watch his video. He got some exclusives. I mean, actually, well, I think Luca Pasci has released those files to the public. So if you go to his video, he actually has a link. The link's also in the Discord where you can actually download the files that he's talking about. You can read the designer notes for these 4 quest packs. And yeah, he definitely got in ahead of me. That image of it is a lot better quality than the image I had on my blog. Yeah. And so kudos to Elveiler, because you wrote a really cool article. And I plugged that in my last video, my quick slapdash video. Let me see if I can bring it up real quick here. It was an interview. You scored an interview with, where did that screen go? You scored an interview with Stephen Baker, of course, who is the OG of HeroQuest, and also Doug Hopkins, who is the new guy. Why am I having a problem all of a sudden? I'm sorry, folks. Let me just hold on. I'm sorry. I'm still here. It's just that I had this all working, and now it's giving me problems. elveiler.com. All right, here's what we wanted. Okay, so elveiler.com, Elveiler's Game Room, which is a cool web page, and I've not plugged it yet enough. But yeah, Elveiler's done a lot of good stuff for us here in HeroQuest fans. He's obviously got a lot of cool things going on. Yeah. Anyway, he has this really neat, and he even kindly told us it's only a 9-minute read, but I'm not going to read it word for word, but I encourage you to go check it out, elveiler.com/2020/08/interview-with-the-designers-of-HeroQuest. And he talks about two of the main guys. I mean, every game is a collaborative effort, and we don't necessarily know everything that goes on behind closed doors, and what conversations and roles people have. A lot of unsung heroes, so to speak, that bring these products to us. But definitely the OG, Stephen Baker, Rogar's Hall, Prophecy of Telor, and the original HeroQuest concept. And then Doug Hopkins, who has written, Zorzel, Forsaken Tunnels of Zorzel, New Beginnings, Into the Northlands, and other things, perhaps, that we don't know about. One-time suspected Zargon, allegedly. Anyway, yeah, that's really cool stuff. So kudos for that. I've read through it so many times, it's not 9 minutes to me anymore. The number is calculated by the word count. Oh, okay. See, I always thought people did that because they were like, oh man, I know you think it's boring, but it's not. It'll only take you 9 minutes to read. But anyway, everybody go check that out for sure. I've read parts of it already, but I was so distracted by other things, I didn't get it done. So see, it didn't even help me with telling me it was 9 minutes. You could have told me it was 2 minutes, and I still didn't get it done. But anyway, let me go back and try to get the app back, the HeroQuest Companion app. Because the HeroQuest Companion app has been updated. And I use BlueStacks emulator. You go, well, why do you use BlueStacks? You don't have a smart device? Correct. I don't have a smart device. So, looks like I have to restart BlueStacks. But what I have to do is, first I have to go to the Google Play Store, or the Play Store, and then look up HeroQuest. So I find the HeroQuest Companion app again, and I click and update it. And then I have to, within the app itself, I have to download the Frozen Horror. And then once I do that, then I get to see all the updates. So yeah, the Frozen Horror is now in the Companion app. And it has some interesting things, because there were some things in the Frozen Horror that are not in the rest of the game. So the Companion app, of course, is meant to work with the actual board game. And this is not working at all. This is so weird. Okay, I'm going to keep trying as I'm talking away here. Okay. Oh, I think maybe. Here's BlueStacks. Yeah, so you've got the game system, you've got Keller's Keep, you've got Return of the Witch Lord, you've got 2 of the, they call them Hasbro Pulse exclusives. So Forsaken Tunnels of Zorzel, New Beginnings, both Doug Hopkins quests. They're in their own separate section, and then the Frozen Horror. But it lets you play where the computer is basically controlling Zargon. It's still on the honor system. You're using the physical board, and then you've got the phone in your hand or whatever. And some of the cards are on the screen, and some of them you have to flip yourself. You still have to roll dice yourself. The monsters are fairly dumb, but I guess they've improved slightly over time, over updates. So I have barely played this. So I'm trying to get it working here. Okay. Okay, I think it might be... Yeah, I guess BlueStacks just doesn't like OBS. It doesn't work well together. So basically, I'm just going to go ahead and try to run the app for you. Maybe another way to do it. And I'm turning down the music because of copyright concerns. Not trying to get copyright strikes. We're listening to royalty-free music right now. That's comparable to how the update worked on Android as well. Update in Google Play, then update by downloading the Quest pack. Probably because the pack is so big. Yeah. See, for me, playing Zargon is one of the most fun ways to play Hero Quest, but I don't always want to do that. I would rather have someone else take it over occasionally. And the way we've been playing Hero Quest on Hero Quest fans on Twitch here is that I've been Zargon every single time. And then other people will join via Discord, and they'll be watching and playing along, and people have provided their own dice even. It's pretty cool. But another way we could do it, and we did this one time with Strange Bus. Shout out to him. Go check out The Strange Bus on Twitch and also on YouTube. Pretty cool guy. We're going to be having the Rantcast this Thursday, actually, he and I. Anyway, he ran Tabletop Simulator, which is a Steam app, Steam game, which has a Hero Quest mod. And so he was able to control the whole thing, even though he doesn't have the physical board game. And we would just join his server, and we'd be clicking away and rolling our own dice. Or one guy wasn't even there. He was just listening on Discord and talking, and he would just tell us what to do, and we would do it for him. So it worked out. It wasn't any quicker than playing the physical board, but it was fun. So I could imagine us going forward doing it like that, like having the Zargon player, like a special guest Zargon, special guest GM, control the quest through Tabletop Simulator, let's say. Because TTS, as they call it, is only $20 on Steam. I mean, you got to learn how to use the interface and everything. But versus like Foundry, which is I think $50 and doesn't have a dedicated Hero Quest module for it, or something like Vassal, which is kind of boring because it's all 2D and everything, even though it's ready to go for online play. Or Roll20, which is even simpler, but it doesn't have a dedicated Hero Quest module. And then if you do it like I do, you got to have a bunch of cameras, or you got to not mind moving your phone around. So I mean, there's some obstacles to get in it working. But maybe every other time or every month or something, we could have a guest GM who would control the quest through Tabletop Simulator, and then we could go back to me with the board. I don't know, different ways to do it. Well, this is annoying. So you can hear the sound effects, you just can't see the image. Wait a minute. We have it? Or did it just went away? Oh, it crashed. Interesting. So this is a BlueStacks problem, ladies and gentlemen. This is not... Maybe OBS and BlueStacks just don't work well together. Well, I was going to show you some stuff. Well, that's all right. I'll just talk about it. See, if I had a phone, I could just be pointing my camera at the phone and doing it that way. Okay, now it's showing an ad. Okay. Screen went black again. Well, anyway, this is not a problem with the app. This is a problem with OBS and my setup. So don't blame this on Hasbro. Blame it on emulation. See, I can make it appear for a second and then it disappears. Okay, well, I'll just tell you what I noticed. Okay. All right, it's working so far. If it stops working, oh, it's still working so far. Okay. Well, somebody in the chat, please tell me if you stopped seeing companion app. So yeah, I've got my classic heroes, Misfits, Ladies Night, Solo Barbarian. So they included all of the Mythic exclusive heroes in here, which kind of makes me wonder, like, are they going to release those someday, or did they put these in here just so that the people who bought the Mythic tier back in 2021, 2020 can use the Bard and the... I mean, you using just the app, I think you could use the Bard, the Druid, and the Warlock, because all their cards are in here. So you could, like, print your own cards, use your own proxy miniatures, and create those heroes. But they're not for sale anymore. You'd have to get on eBay, and scalpers would have to get them. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Scalpers are apparently going to be very, very upset after Gen Con. That's what I hear. Don't ask me what that means. I mean, I presume it means we're getting some more retail stuff. Now, does that mean any of this Mythic stuff is going to be coming out? Are they going to just have a big truck of, like, Guardian Knight miniatures to sell? Who knows? All right, let's see. Let's just to make it easy, let's go with Ladies Night. I don't know if it is Ladies Night, but the feeling's right. Okay, so we've got quit my day job. All right, so we got the game system, we got Keller's Keep, Return of the Witch Lord, Frozen Horror, Pulse exclusive. So just to show you, so there's that with all the sound effects. I'm just afraid if I full screen it, it's gonna crash on me. Okay, so this is the Frozen Horror. So before this said coming soon, I was like, when's it going to update? It's like, oh, I got to update it myself. Okay, so we got Barbarian Solo Quest. So interesting, they broke it up. The Xanon Pass, Trial by Ice, The Rescue. And of course, they got this canned dialogue, so they have to do voice acting.
Welcome, mighty Barbarian, to the land...
And that is definitely not Stephen Baker speaking, but...
of your youth. It seems only yesterday that the tribal elders gave you leave to explore the many wonders of the warm lands to the south. You return now as a renowned warrior, tall and strong, well-versed in the skills of battle.
You know it.
Happy though your homecoming is, bitter tidings are on the minds of the tribal elders.
Oh.
They wearily tell you why you have been summoned back to aid your people in their time of need.
Oh, there's more.
An ancient evil, long thought banished.
Yeah. No, I mean, I've read this same script when we started our games, but yeah, it's all there. Now, this guy did a good job, I thought, Mentor. But whoever it was that did the voice, I mean, maybe it was the same guy, for all I know. I mean, it sounds like somebody doing a bad impression of Mark Hamill as the Joker, like was Zargon. Hey, Lotion Master, welcome. So yeah, we're talking about what we don't know is going to happen at Gen Con. Are they going to announce the Dwarf Quest pack? I mean, they're obviously going to talk about the Rogue Heir of Elethorn, finally. And we'll find out what that bandolier is really for. Between those two L's. Do they just get infinite throwing knives? What is it? They're going to talk about the Frozen Horror, because today is the official release date, even though lots of people have it already. And then, is there going to be a Dwarf Quest pack? Is there going to be a Wizard Quest pack? Exactly what I thought. It sounds like the Joker. Yeah, it's like, heroes. Yeah, Harley Quinn handed me the wrong gun. Yeah, I don't think it's Mark Hamill. Yep. So anyway, let's. I'm just gonna take a quick run in. I just want to show you a few things. Okay, so we've played the Glacial Gate, the Deadly Depths. We just started, so I kind of don't want to jump into it because even though it'd be a good demonstration, it's like I don't want to spoil it. Because yeah, I mean, when I play, I change things up. But I'm just going to start an adventure, and I'm going to...
You have done well, Barbarian.
...tell you some other things. So, just like Amalgamash was talking in his awesome video about the Dwarf Quest Pack and the Wizard Quest Pack, and those scans that Luca Pasci released to the public, which if you go to his channel, he's got a link to it to download those PDFs, and also it's in the Discord. I'm really curious to see, like, is Hasbro going to just make completely original versions of those, or do they have the quest notes already? Or are they gonna, use them? Do they have maybe a later version than we have? Okay, so some cutting room floor stuff I want to say about the Frozen Horror based on his notes. So originally it wasn't called the Frozen Horror, it was called Barbarian Blades. The potion of icy strength, and I probably said this before, instead of just making your attack stronger or letting you attack twice or whatever, it actually allowed you to pick a monster up and throw him across the room until he hit a wall, and it would basically stun him for one turn. So he could still defend, but he couldn't attack, and he couldn't move. So that was interesting. And there was a melt chaos spell and a melt spell scroll. And it was just like Pass Through Rock, but it said like it melted a hole in the wall, and then you could walk through it, and then the ice would like remelt. They took that out because they were afraid that it would unbalance the quest if the bad guy could like escape and then be trapped in a room or something. There was a potion of fire that was changed to a potion of warmth, as you know. Ice gremlins were called ice goblins at one point. That may have just been a slip up because they look a lot like goblins. They used to only have 2 defend dice instead of 3. They used to be able to grab your shield away, but they made it so that they couldn't grab the shield out of your hand. They used to have 4 mind points instead of 3. So they made them stronger and harder to kill because they're supposed to be annoying to be able to steal your stuff. The snowshoes of speed were originally called the snowshoes of balance. The scout used to be 50 gold coins to hire. They changed it to 75. Used to be he only attacked with 2. They made it 3 to make him stronger. Apparently they had a lot of problems with the term halberdier, the guy with the halberd. So they changed it to pikeman, but then they changed it back to halberdier to match the European version it came from. The potion of warmth, the scroll of warmth, originally only healed 2 body points. They changed it to 3. Skate for the bad guys, because the bad guys could use a skate cast spell. Originally it used red dice, just like the hero version, but then they changed it to just you move 12 squares of movement. Don't think so. Does a good impression though. Yeah, I agree. Thanks, Elweiler. Yeah, welcome to everybody in the chat. Sir Death Vids, who I keep wanting to call Sir David the Vids. I don't know why I can't get that out of my head. Like you misread someone's internet handle and it always pops up in your head. So people have called me other things, but it's like whatever. Yeah, but I'm glad you're here. Sir Death Vids has a great channel on YouTube. He's consistently done quality videos all through this Hero Quest remake stuff, and I got a lot out of it. And I guess I didn't even realize, like, oh, that's him again in his video, and he's making another video, of course. So shout out to him. Go check him out. Rate, comment, subscribe, sub to him. Delatsk, welcome. And then, of course, the Lotion Master. Yeah, so we're talking about a lot of different things here, and I'm getting off track because there's so much to think about. Yeah, so other things that were in the cutting room floor from the Frozen Horror. There used to be a whole section of cards called ice spells. They didn't have unique artwork, but they were going to be called ice spells. And they changed it to just chaos spells. And so, like, the good guy version of it, they were artifacts. They were spell scrolls. Let's see. And then originally the Amulet of the North didn't give an extra mind point to the Barbarian. It just gave him body points. It's like, okay, small change there. But those are the things that I noticed that were different. Also, in one of the later quests, this is interesting, there was actually a cutscene where you actually see the Frozen Horror, like the final boss. And let's see. When the heroes appear, the Frozen Horror will taunt them, saying, "You fools! You have courage, but you are no match for my power. I will destroy you, and you will become my slaves." Like, wait a minute. But it's not really him. It's an illusion. So there might be a little bit of a spoiler there, but that was completely deleted from the final version of the game. And then you think to yourself, wait a minute, what he says makes no sense. He will destroy you, and then you will become his slaves? Actually, this is a bit of a spoiler as well. It does make a certain amount of sense, because in the Frozen Horror pack, there's a lot of undead monsters. Like, why is that the case? Because you think, okay, you fought all these skeletons and mummies and zombies when you fought the Witch Lord, right? Before that, it's like, okay, you find a couple skeletons, like, next to a tomb or something, but mostly it's orcs and Fimers, or Fimirs, or Females, Chaos Warriors and the like. But the undead aren't super popular. Well, it's because the Frozen Horror, like, he kills people and he with his ice powers or whatever, and then he brings them back as undead. So there's actually a hero, and you wonder, was it the original hero that killed the frozen horror? Surely not. But somebody who failed originally. And you see some of this artwork, you see like heroes frozen in ice. But one of the original heroes, he comes back as an undead hero. So like he's a bad guy, but he has like the strength of a hero player, and he's undead. So I guess he's saying that he's going to kill the heroes and he's going to bring them back as undead. So I think that's kind of cool. But maybe they thought that was too complicated. They weren't explained well, so they just deleted that scene. See, that's the kind of stuff that I enjoy. I'd like to reintroduce that. So anyway, I kind of spoiled my own game there. I just won't say when it will happen. So
each hero may hire and control mercenaries for this quest.
This is the app again. Okay, so this is what they introduced. And you can skip it or you can hire them. So there, you got a choice. I notice you don't go to the alchemist shop. Like potions are just kind of your own thing to do. But let's hire some. Okay, so this is the female barbarian, and gold cost 0. Oh, because the app doesn't know how much gold you have. That's something you keep track of yourself. But look at this. Look at this. Swordsman 100, crossbowman 75, halberdier 75, scout 50. But see how it says remaining 3. So they actually keep track of a stock of how many mercenaries are possible to be hired. You can't change this. But there's 12. In the original, there were only 6. And the weapons there were like twice as many weapons as there were figures, because originally the weapons were bolt-on. Okay, so let's just take an example. Let's just say, you know what? Let's just go crazy. Let's just say we're going to hire 12 mercenaries for the first person. No one else is going to hire any. So we're going to hire 3 of each. Notice how the stock has gone down to 0. This is going to cost you 900 gold to do this. Now, in Into the Northlands, the supplement quest, which I recommend everybody download, Doug Hopkins designed that. You can find an artifact. Zargon has to put it in the quest, of course. You find an artifact called the War Horn of Command. And the idea is, if any of your mercenaries survive the quest, you can hire them back. The cost to retain them is only half the gold. So it'd be 450 to keep all, assuming they all survive. Because in the original, it's like it costs the same amount to rehire them, so you would think people would just let them get killed because it's the same amount. Okay. Okay, so I hired them all. Decide to deduct. Remember to deduct gold coins from your character sheet. Yeah. See, now look at this. I can't hire any because I've already hired them all. Okay, so the wizard doesn't get any. The elf doesn't get any. Dwarf doesn't get any. Oh, and someone else pointed out the Fog of War is now blue instead of, what, green or yellow? Place revealed pieces on the table's game board. Okay. Okay, yeah, so just the doors. Let's find the wooden exit door. Large treasures should be divided up. Iron door.
Beyond, fearsome foes await you.
All right.
I shall watch over your progress and aid you when I can.
Okay. Aid you when I can. Mentor, he's not supposed to be involved in this at all. All right, so what we're going to do is we're going to get into a Yeti confrontation as quickly as we can, because check this out. Check out these options. Look at this. This has already been revealed. Thank you to Desi, Learlek, Dubai Montalto, and a few other people. Enable Yeti hug breaks. Okay. Remember, with the Into the Northlands, all they said was the Yeti hug, just don't use it in the solo quests, because the barbarian's by himself. He can, if he gets caught by Yeti, he can just never escape and he just dies. Right? It's silly. So just say they just attack, just do regular attacks. They just punch and that's it. And then when we get to the group quest, okay, then you got to kill the Yeti to save whoever gets grabbed by him. Because if you take damage from a Yeti, you get grabbed by a Yeti. It's automatic. But here, they're introducing something which was from the draft notes, which was, okay, they change it. They change, I'll show you when it happens, but they change the way it works. But it's still pretty close. I think the odds are about the same. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I wasn't trying to exit the quest. Save and exit.
Until we meet again, take care, my friends. Farewell.
Okay, I clicked exit to title. Alright, so can I go back to that quest that I just started? Oh, continue. Okay.
You have done well.
I was at the beginning. Okay, so let's say it's the barbarian. Can I zoom in? Okay, yes, I sort of can. This was obviously not built with a PC in mind. Okay, so we got the barbarian. Alright. Okay.
Barbarian triggers a trap.
Oh.
The floor gives way.
Yep. Okay. Well, alright, so you click on... Oh. Obviously I'm not as familiar with this as I should be. Use artifacts. So look this. They give you all the artifacts, like in all the packs. The ones that are like that white color, there's artwork for, but the other ones...
Follow the artifact card's instructions.
Yeah, that's the Joker voice, the Zargon voice. Okay, so... Of course, that makes it sound like Zargon's like an old wizard. He's not like a big, scary, like, Dread Warrior, Chaos Warrior. He's not a big monster. Unless it's a giant monster that has a little wizardy voice. But yeah, some of these don't have artwork. So like Fortune's Longsword, Orc's Bane, Phantom Blade, Ring of Fortitude, Snowshoes of Speed. Okay, I'm realizing that the Joe Manganiello artifacts aren't in here. I don't see the Dragon Spear. But I do see the Rod of Telekinesis, so I see the ones that were Fortune's Longsword. Yeah, all the ones that are in the remake game system are here. And then, of course, the Frozen Horror ones. So skate. Yeah. And you can just, like, it's the honor system. So again, you just, whichever ones you found, which are in your inventory, you just assume they have those. Okay, so I fell into a pit. Oh yeah, you click here, and you can change their name. So you could name her the Amazon. You can kill the hero by just clicking that little button there. Change the attack dice. So let's say she's got a battle axe. So that'd be 4. Let's see, defend dice. So let's see, a helmet. Borin's armor. She can't really wear a shield. Okay, body points are the same. Mind is the same. Starting weapon, broadsword. Okay. What else? I could search for treasure in that pit.
Barbarian searches the area for treasure. Draw a treasure card. Track treasure on your character sheet.
Notice they... See, I couldn't stop that from speaking. Notice they make you draw a card, so... I guess you could say anything. You could say, oh, it was a hazard. You know, it was, whatever. If it's a wandering monster, let's see what it would be. Ah, it actually puts him out.
Aye. Zargon. Defend yourself, barbarian. Roll your defend dice.
Well, since I don't really have this stuff, I'm not going to play it for real. So I'm just going to say, yeah, you defended everything.
Try to defend yourself, barbarian. Roll your defend dice.
His voice is so comical.
My dread magic should overcome all.
Yep. All right. Well, let's end that turn. Okay. Really shouldn't have been able to search anyway. Okay. So the next character, the wizard. All right. Let's just do some fun stuff. So. Attack, disarm, traps. Where's my magic? Oh, did we run into a problem? Like I can't move through that monster? I can't move through the monster. See, I should be able to cast magic on him. That's a problem. See, I'm not even in the quest. Yeah. Alright, let's just kill one of these monsters to get rid of him.
The abomination has died.
Doesn't seem too broken up about it. Alright, now how do I jump a trap? Search traps. Alright, if I try to draw over... Oh, I'm gonna run into the monster. Okay, fine. Let's, now I can cast a spell. Alright, let's just pick... Actually, you know what? For fun. Let's do air. We'll go ahead with the genie. I know I'm taking so long because I've never used the app really before. I mean, I just kind of messed around with it before. Didn't do a whole lot. Follow the card instructions. Oh, okay. Alright, let's just say I killed him with 5.
The abomination has been defeated.
Okay, let's see. Can I just jump over? Ah, here we go. Jump, disarm, or trigger. Oh, I can disarm it even though it's already been sprung? Oh, I know, it's grayed out. Okay, so they remembered that. The European version, you could fill in a pit, like with a guy in it, but not in this version. Okay, jump over it. Okay, yeah, let's just say I did it. Oh, you have to choose. Okay, well, you don't want to roll a skull, so black shield. Move safely across. Open the door, yeah. See, they don't necessarily assume you know how to play the game. They tell you how to do it. Okay, so there's monsters inside. Yeah, I can actually... See, again, totally cheating. See, like, you have to play it honestly or it's no challenge at all, but I just want to go quickly through this. So let's do Ball of Flame. See, it's always that generic blue.
Spellbreak is successful!
Oh, really? Okay, well, let's try that again. Spellbreak is successful.
Spellbreak is successful!
Let's just kill him.
The abomination has been
Just kill him.
defeated.
So you can
The
just-
abomination
You can just go through and kill
has
him.
died.
Alright, so go into the room. Alright. Yeah, let's open the door. Okay, let's get some other heroes in here. I'm being kind of silly. Alright, let's get the elf. Okay, gotta click on him. Her. You gotta move past it, jump over it. Okay, I'm learning how to do it. Yeah, we'll just say they got that. Let's get in here. It's like already it takes like 45 minutes just to do this. Oh, wait. Action. Let's search for secret doors.
Elf searches for secret doors. Secret door discovered.
Okay. Open the door. Yes. There's the tomb. Oh, it's a 3D looking tomb. Yeah, because they don't use the map icons. There's our monsters. So this is the big first boss fight. Spoilerific spoilers here. When they introduce a new monster, they give you stats. Oh, wait. Body points and mind points are question marks. Ah, interesting. Interesting. So they try to keep it a secret at first. All right, let's end the turn. Go to the dwarf. Wait a minute. What happened to all of my mercenaries? I thought I had mercenaries. Jump over. You know what? I'm just curious. What happens if I fall in the pit? Okay, so I try to jump, and I just get a skull. I fall in. Both in there. That's right. Okay, now it should be Zargon's turn, but actually what I should have done is go back here, and here's the mercenaries. I forgot to move these guys. So let's see, the first one. Gonna move in, jump over. Alright, next mercenary. Yes, he jumps over. I like how they force you to do it each time. It's like, oh, I'm jumping the thing. Now, there's no blind trap jumping in this, but it would be certainly cool if you could. Oh, hey, I can just move, and it's not my turn. Definitely on the honor system. I don't know. I mean, this is... I've started to get used to this. I think initially I thought, oh, this is so silly. Why would anyone ever want to use this? It's like you have no friends, you have no family to play the game with, you're so bored, you've never played the quest before, you don't want to spoil it for yourself, so you play like this. It's like, alright. But I mean, you could have a group of people, and it's like, nobody wants to be the bad guy tonight, so you just use the app. And if something screws up, then you can just kind of use your imagination. But I mean, the heroes are always going to do it in their own favor. But in a way, it kind of teaches you a bit about the game, so that when you do want to be Zargon yourself, you can easily do it. So... Wow, there's the Yeti stats. They just revealed it. Oh, wait a minute. Oh, it's just when I move my mouse over it. Maybe? I just move my mouse down. And then it just... Okay. Okay, this last crossbowman... Okay. We're listening to the royalty-free music. They should have some kind of streaming option so you don't get as many pop-ups. You can just click on the monsters and kill them to move on. That's true, but I have something specific, Elviler. Sorry for ignoring the chat for a second. It takes too long to jump them, just fall in, then continue on with movement. The turn doesn't actually end until you click the end turn button. Okay, yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just getting to know it, my own slow self here. On here I am clicking on OBS instead of... Oh man, you're right. Whoops. Yeah, it fell in. So now we got a pile of people in there. Sound like you're in a hurry. Well, I wasn't in a hurry before when I did the video. Now I'm just kind of like, I do want to get to bed on time, but other than that, it's like, who cares? Yeah, I'm getting bogged down in minutia. This is why you need human players to remind you what you're doing. I was like, hey Zargon, hey old man. See, if you hire 12 mercenaries, it really starts to get crowded. Okay, finally. 12 mercs is the kind of game where each turn takes an hour. Yeah, but the whole game is going to take you like a week to finish, probably. Look at that. There's no room. So wait a minute. How many people are in that pit? Let's see. We've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So there's 3 people in the pit, and that's the maximum. So I think we've reached one of the limits. I think 20 body points, or 20 points in any category is for the profile limit. So you could have 20 body points, 20 attack points. Let's fill the room with mercenaries. I'm sure they've play tested the heck out of this, and still they're probably finding bugs to fix. Okay. Alright, let's jump over it. Let's fall in. Okay. Well, maybe there isn't a limit. Maybe they can all fall in. Or you have to try to jump over it and fail. Just stumble into it. Once it's discovered, they assume you already know about it. So you just move towards it. Okay. I'm not that concerned about it. Alright. Oops. Okay, so let's see what we can do here. So we want the Yeti. Alright, let's kill the Warbear.
The polar warbear has died.
Okay, now so what we want to do is we want to go to Zargon's turn. Oops. Let's get somebody who has some body points in there. Okay. Now, end turn. Alright, Zargon. Let's see what you got. Let's see what you got. Yes.
My goal is to destroy you, heroes. Try to defend yourself, elf. Roll your defend dice.
Okay, it says it's a hit. Do I get it? There we are. Okay, whenever the Yeti's attack causes the hero to lose at least one body point, the Yeti grabs the hero in a powerful hug. Did you lose one body point of damage from the Yeti's attack? Why, yes. Yes, I did.
Elf is hugged by the Yeti.
Aww. A hero cannot defend against any monster attacks nor take actions while in the Yeti's powerful hug.
Another hero must defeat the Yeti to break its hold.
Defend yourself, swordsman. Roll your defend dice.
Wait a minute. I thought you could break the holds.
Swordsman is hugged by the Yeti.
Another hero must defeat the Yeti to break its hold.
I enabled
Dread
the hug break. Oh, maybe it doesn't trigger until their turn. Okay. Alright, so they're both being hugged. I noticed that I couldn't get a Yeti to, like, two Yetis to hug the same person. That would have been interesting. Okay. There's probably a way to do that. I wish I could, like, place monsters. That'd be cool. Okay, so we're going to say Zargon's turn is over. Oh, it's the Barbarian's turn. Alright, yeah. Let's skip the Barbarian's turn. Okay. Let's go to the Elf. Break the hug. Here we go. Elf, you're caught in the powerful arms of the Yeti. You struggle and attempt to break the Yeti's hold. Roll 2 red dice. If you roll a 5 or 6, tap the hug broken button below. Okay. So it does 2 damage per round unless you break the hold. So I guess every turn you have a chance to break the hold. So 5 or 6. So that's a 1/3 chance. It's just like rolling a white combat die and trying to get a white hero shield. Because there's 2 white hero shields on the die. So 5 or 6. And you're rolling 2 of them. But see, in the draft notes, if you got 1 white, you roll 2 dice. But if you get 1 white shield, it does no damage, but you're still in it. 2 white shields, it breaks the hold. So here they're saying even 1 instance of a 5 or 6 breaks the hold. So they made it easier. But you also got to remember it does 2 damage. Whereas in the draft notes, it only did 1 damage. And yes, in our homebrew rules, we said you roll 3 dice, and 3 white shields means you do a professional wrestling move and actually damage the monster, like unblockable hit. So I like that they did this, though. I think this was a cool idea, and this is not something that's in the base rules for 92. I mean, it was in the draft notes, a version of this. So I'm really great. Shout out to Avalon Hill Hasbro for doing this. So let's say the hug was broken. All right, out of it now. All right, break the hug. Yeah. All right, let's try killing one of them. Let's see, damage. You just took that much damage. Okay.
The Yeti has died.
So many skulls. Okay, let's go to Zargon's turn. Let's see what he does. Oh, no, it wouldn't work because... No, I did it wrong. I should have killed the hero and had just 2 Yetis. All right, I did it wrong. That's okay.
Zargon's turn. Try to defend yourself, swordsman. Roll your defend dice, swordsman. Is hugged by the Yeti.
Another hero must defeat the Yeti to break its hold.
Let's do it the old way.
Let's see where fate takes you.
All right, let's attack one of this. Oh, it doesn't let you attack. Oh, you have to roll dice. Oh, you have to roll the dice to do it. Hey, and they show the blue dice. They give you a little tutorial. So you're rolling, and your character sheet all has to. Well, they still show the old character sheet. Has to be done by hand. So this is not a complete game. You still need the board game itself to make it actually work. Whoops. See, I roll the mouse wheel in it to scroll, and then it actually moves somebody. So let's move over here, and let's say you attacked, and then the monster gets killed.
The Yeti has died.
There, he's freed. And you can't move through furniture, but people have pointed this out. You can make the furniture intangible, which is not really a rule. I think that's more just because there's certain quests where you have to like move through the furniture. So you could just, oh, he's right there. He's jumping on top of the furniture. Normally it blocks movement. All right, the swordsman, he doesn't, let's see, he can disarm a trap. May not disarm traps. Okay, may not search for secret doors, traps, treasure, cast spells. Now the question is, what if you may not use artifacts? You could hand a spell scroll to a mercenary and have him use it. Okay, so Elvyler says, so after they finish making the hero quest packs, they need to make a Zargon quest pack. Otherwise, I'm going to feel left out for not having special dice. Yeah, what would the Zargon pack be like? Interesting. Would it be like the monsters are playing as the good guys? So like Mentor is controlling the heroes that you have to fight? Maybe you're like invading a castle or something? Fighting men-at-arms? Maybe you have to capture the king? That'd be interesting. Or would it just be really heavy on like dread magic kind of stuff? Or would it be like a little tutorial on ways that you can like be a better GM, be a more interesting GM? That could be something. Or just, yeah, just some evil looking dice. Like transparent black, like smoky black with red, shiny red drawings on them or something. Anyway. Yeah, so they've added some things to the app. It's still, like, if you're an old school player, you still probably don't care about this very much. You just want to play it the way you do. And notice how this Fog of War just goes away permanently. So it's not like it goes back into shadow. Like, everybody could leave the room, and yet still you can see this room perfectly. Let's get everyone out of here. No one can possibly see it. Wait a minute, did it reveal part of the corridor? Oh, I was going to say the whole corridor should have been revealed. Yeah, the entire corridor. Oh, so they... See, I've always thought, well, you know, you could see that square there if there was a wall, but they're saying you can't. So you could see this wall, but you can't see this. Alright. I guess. But keep in mind, they're still updating this thing, so they may tweak stuff here and there. I mean, they just updated it today. So I haven't been playing it all along to tell you what's different now versus when version 1.00 was out. 1.001. Is this 1.5? Let's see. Yeah, 1.5, okay. But they never added the Guardian Knight, and Rogar's Hall is not in here. Yeah, so that room is still completely revealed, even though no one should be able to see it, if it was true Fog of War. This quest pack really ups the difficulty for the heroes, especially if they're new heroes. Exactly. I think Hispazargon made his infamous chart where he showed like the difficulty, and Yeah, it's like parties just get killed off, and the solo quests are even worse. So yeah. So yeah, you can kill the heroes too.
The barbarian has been defeated.
It's been claimed by another player. Now, if they die by themselves, they're claimed by another. Oh, let's see if they fixed the pass through rock problem. I'm sure they haven't, but let's just try it. Okay, so we got the wizard. Don't anybody spoil it for me, because you already know the answer, and I don't. Okay, so we go to earth spells. We go to pass through rock. Cast a spell on yourself.
The wizard may now pass through rock.
Actually, that's not what I wanted to do. Let's we'll cast it on somebody else. Oh, I can't cast it on a mercenary? Oh, because I can't see them because I'm in another room.
The wizard may now pass through rock.
I was going to say, that doesn't make a lot of sense. Okay. Let's use, let's see, spell scroll, pass through rock. Let's cast it.
The halberdier may now pass through rock.
He was actually able to say it, the halberdier. So you can walk like this, and you can pass. Look at that. I'm passing through a stone, and I'm passing back through. And I'm fine. Okay. But what if I go into... Well, this is obviously a real room. If I go here and then here... Let's see. I'm going to cheat and look at the actual... Okay, there is solid rock in this quest, so let's go find some. So there's solid rock in... Not in here. Still got pass-through rock enabled. Because they don't care how much movement you've got. You could have a lot of movement, I guess. Okay. So this we know to be a solid rock room to the right. So we're going to walk into it, and then we're going to walk right back out again. Fine. But if we walk into it, even though we've got movement left, I mean, technically, it's going to be instant death. Watch. They fixed it. I'm inside solid rock right now, and I'm not dead. Yes, they fixed it. Look at this. I'm in solid rock. I'm just cruising along. But apparently I have so much potion of speed that it doesn't even matter. I've just rolled so much dice, I can just plow right through it. Perfect. Thanks, guys. I don't know who programs the... Yeah, I'm in solid rock this entire time. And I'm not dead. But trapped forever in solid rock. Oh, that time interesting. So it's only when you end your turn inside one of those stone blocks.
The halberdier has died.
Because I was thinking, okay, the only way to kill him would be to click end turn. Yeah, he's gone. Okay, let's try this another way. So they've almost fixed it. So you almost have to try to kill yourself to get it to be trapped forever. Because it just was so easy before. Like, because you're moving your finger along the screen with the touch screen. And you're moving it along, and you could easily, like, oh, you go to scratch your nose or something, or your hand gets sweaty, and you lift your finger up, you forget, and then it's like, oh, you're trapped forever, you're dead. You just instantly die. Rather than, oh, are you sure? If you still got movement left, you can get out of here. Okay, so let's use an artifact. Let's use pass through rock again. This is encouraging. Catch the rest of the recording later. Have to run. Thanks, Elviler. Yeah, I'm just
playing around. May now pass through rock.
Okay, so I go through it, and I'm fine. Okay, I move 4 squares, but let's say it's 12. Okay, I move here, and he's dead. Okay, so you have to end your turn inside a block. Okay.
The crossbowman has died.
Okay. All right, let's use this pass-through rock scroll again.
The swordsman may now pass through rock.
All right, let's get him going. And we'll just test my theory. I'm sure I know how it's going to end up. There's the icy river. Okay, and he should be dead right here. Oh, he's not. Unless I click end turn, then he dies. Huh! Oh, he's still alive. Oh, so they went too far the other direction. So I ended his turn. He's in solid rock. He should be dead. It's only if you stop moving when you're in like an actual stone block. So they made it better. They made it better. Okay, so let's go to Zargon's turn. Yes, now
Zargon's turn.
He should be dead.
Foolish adventurers, your fate is sealed.
Wow, he's cheesy. Well, he can't do anything on his turn, so let's back to the heroes again. Okay, so let's go to the end Zargon's
My
turn.
goal is to destroy you, heroes. Hero's turn.
Hero's turn, okay. Okay, let's troll the screen over here. This guy. He can move. Oh, but he can't leave. Interesting. Interesting. So how do we get him out of here? Oh, I know. Okay. Now I'm really curious. Okay, so let's go to the wizard. Alright, you're gonna cast Pass Through Rock on yourself.
The wizard may now pass through rock.
I'm sure they tested this, but I'm just so curious. Okay, so you're gonna pass through rock, walking along, cruising along. And you're gonna go inside solid rock. Oh, shoot.
Oh, watch your footing.
Black shield. Managed to make it without injury. Okay. Yeah. But spell isn't broken yet. So we're going to go in. Okay, now watch. I'm in the room. Watch this. Because it doesn't limit your actions. So I'm totally cheating once again. Alright, let's...
The swordsman may now pass through rock.
We're both inside solid rock. I cast Pass Through Rock on him. Now he can get out of there. So that's how you free a trapped hero. Or trapped character. As long as you have somebody that either can use artifacts, so any of the heroes, or has any spells, elf or wizard, you're fine. And then I can't get out. But I can, again, cast it on myself. Because again, it's all the honor system. Let's see. Whoops. Earth spells. Because really, you can't do any of this stuff. But it's like, how far will
The
they...
wizard may now pass through rock.
Because in reality, what would happen is the hero would start to go into solid rock, and Zargon would either just say nothing and say, okay, are you done moving? Oh, you're trapped inside solid rock, you're dead. Or more than likely, it'd be like the hero goes in there and is like, why aren't you revealing anything in the room? There's literally nothing here. There's no doors. Am I inside solid rock? Yeah, you are. Okay. Well, I've got 2 squares left. I'm moving back to safety. Be like, all right. Or he could give a friendly warning. By the way, you're inside solid rock. Better use the rest of your movement to get out of here. Or you're just dead. Trapped forever. So, I don't think it allows you to pass through monsters or through furniture. Of course, with intangible furniture, yes, you could.
The wizard has encountered a wandering monster. Now feel the wrath of Zargon, the abomination. Misses. Try to defend yourself, wizard. Roll your defend dice. Hero's turn.
Okay. Yeah, I can't pass through monsters with it. Can't pass through furniture either. Okay. Alright, well, I think I've seen enough.
Find the wooden exit door to enter the deeper recesses of the mountain.
So this is the Hero Quest companion app. So this is like the longest I've actually played it, the longest I've looked at it. And it has its own music, but I turned it down to nothing because I was concerned about possible copyright strikes or notices, alerts, whatever. But there are some limitations, of course. I mean, there's no option to like remix the quests, so they're always going to be the same. You can't make your own quests in here. It's only the ones they've programmed for it, which it's a bit understandable because they did do the voice acting. But I mean, they could just put in like generic voice acting or text only. I mean, that's what they did with a lot of video games that had like custom content. But I don't know. It's come a long way since it first started. And let's see, if we just go back to BlueStacks here. Again, I'm just amazed that it works at all. There's the Dread Warriors. And they use these basic icons. So again, it's like if you're using a tablet or a phone, that's what it's for. Okay, let's see what happens if somebody falls on falls into the icy river. Yeah.
Dwarf triggers a trap. Ice falls from above. Dwarf steps into an icy river.
The Armband of Ice or the Ring of Warmth. Okay. Wait a minute. We're in the Armband of Ice. Next, okay. Move through rushing icy waters. Oh, I forgot that it did that. I thought it did damage automatically. I guess I'm wrong about that. I'm not as familiar with the Frozen Horror stuff. Because I think the rules are the same otherwise. Breaking the Hold, see. I'm just reading from the 92 version. Each square of these underground streams counts as 2 squares for movement purposes. Each time a hero enters an icy river square, he rolls 1 combat die. He loses 1 body point to the cold if he rolls a white shield. Monsters suffer neither movement penalties nor damage from the icy river. You know, if they made a Zargon edition of the app, it's like the heroes would move automatically. That could be interesting. And then you would control Zargon the whole time. So it'd be you versus the heroes. That could be interesting. I mean, I guess it's easier for Zargon to cheat. I mean, he's not supposed to. But I mean, the heroes could have different levels of AI. So you could have like really advanced heroes. You could have medium. You could have stupid heroes. Of course, what would you do? I guess you just move the monsters. The only thing, I mean, the quest is predetermined. Unless you can make the quest and like the AI heroes would test it out for you. So it'd be a way for you to like practice before the actual game. I don't know. That's not how we played it as kids. I mean, as kids, you just write the quest and then you just present it in front of your friends, and either they would just breeze through it and laugh at you, or they would just get destroyed and go, this game sucks. I don't want to play you anymore. Or, you know, hopefully everybody has a good time. So it's skull, it's nothing. Yeah, so I don't get to use spells, but guess what? I can use an artifact, which is as good as having magic. So you could give characters magic by just letting them use these scrolls. Ice Bridge. So now it's passable. So I can just walk across. Oh, what? Skip it. Oh, it only covers 1 square? Let's try that again. Ice Bridge. See, some of these we haven't gotten to yet, so it's kind of like you can experiment with them. The problem is you can't necessarily go by what the app tells you all the time, because you have to go by what the game says. Because if there's an error, how would you know? It's not like this is like the definitive version. Okay, so it just covered 1 square. Alright, what's some other stuff? Dust's disappearance lets you pass through monsters. Ring of Return would take you back to the beginning of the quest. All right, let's do it. Oh, it didn't do anything? Ring of Return. Did the wearer concede to the starting... There I am. Okay. But I didn't leave the quest because I just went out the door. And 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in the pit. This is so silly. I don't know. Anybody in the chat? I know Elviler's moved on, but so what else do we have to talk about? So we talked about the Adventure Design Kit. As far as I think Gen Con predictions, we just have to wait and see. I mean, I predicted the Elf Quest pack, but maybe I'm completely wrong. Maybe the Dwarf Quest pack will come out, and we'll hear all about it. Okay, and then why did it disappear? That's interesting. Okay, well, it was working fine, but I guess that's all I had to show you, really. Yeah, and the stuff with Lucapashi, let me just take a quick look back, because we're not doing that right now. Lucapashi was talking about the future of the project. So I think everything that he's got has been scanned now in like the highest quality that he could. So fans are working on the Wizard Quest pack, finishing it, and we'll see what Avalon Hill Hasbro decides to do, if they decide to make their own completely new version, or if they make it and it's like, that looks familiar. Like, will they change it up? I mean, we're not trying to like steal their thunder or anything, so we respect their wishes, but the Dwarf Quest pack, if they're going to make it completely from scratch, or if they're going to take the half that we know about secretly and then finish it, it'll be interesting to see what happens. So, let's see. They're going to translate it into different languages, so probably Italian, German, Spanish. Another interesting thought about it is, like, Amalgamash and I argued on this, it's like, I feel like the Barbarian Quest pack especially was broken on release. I mean, either you had to use their suggestions from Into the Northlands, or you had to make up your own to make it not crushingly difficult. Like, okay, just never run into a Yeti, or come up with a rule to break the hold, that kind of thing. The Elf Quest pack is very difficult as well, not quite as bad, but there's a lot of like stuff that looks like they should have play tested it, like a lot of treasure chests that have nothing in them, that are surrounded by huge, powerful monsters, which is like, oh, you obviously put a really awesome treasure in there, and it's like, nope, there isn't even a note saying the chest is empty. Or like you beat a quest and there's just no reward, there's nothing. So it's like, well, wouldn't you give them an artifact or give them some gold, something? Especially if the solo quests are meant for a brand new hero. So the question is, would the Wizard Quest pack and the Dwarf Quest pack be broken like that as well? To be accurate to the original, even though to make it playable, you'd want to like make it a little easier. So, oh, there it is. From what I've seen of the Wizard Quest pack, it actually looks fairly playable. I think there's maybe like 2 quests that are like really tough, but the rest look fairly decent. There's a whole bunch of magic in there that's new. The wizard can get fairly powerful. There's a whole bunch of new spells. The monsters are kind of a mixed bag. Like, some of the things are kind of interesting. I don't know if I should say too much about it, just because I don't want to spoil it. But I guess I'll keep quiet about that for now. Mainly, I'm interested in the cutting room floor stuff. So let me just see if there's anything else interesting that jumps out for the Elf Quest pack, just to talk about it real quick. So, if we were to just toss up a couple screens here, just to show you that I'm not just making this up. Alright, so we'll do a window in OBS. There we go. Okay. So that should look familiar. And we've got some So just hand-drawn tiles. So this is what the Elf Quest pack would have had. So pretty similar to what we all remember. And so the question is like, okay, what would the remake version of this look like? But I think we already know the answer to that. I mean, this board, this huge board, would be kind of something new that we haven't seen before. A big cardboard wall to create the throne room. Quicksand, yeah. And then this mirror and everything. I guess some of these special doors would probably be all plastic. But I mean, will we get a prospector who's a figure rather than just a tile? Would the werewolves be figures, or would they be just tiles again? You know, there's different ways it could be handled. But I mean, the way the Frozen Horror was remade, I mean, they added character sheets. So maybe they'll be like green or purple or some other color. Maybe that we'll have transparent dice that are like some other color than blue. Like, again, green seems like kind of a natural, like, elven color. But it could be anything. Anything they want, I suppose. Maybe they could look like stone or something. They wouldn't have to be transparent. But I mean, they would take the original designs and just kind of dress them up to look modern and resize them for the new board. One thing I noticed about the Frozen Horror remake is it seems like they added extra skull tiles. But if you flip them over, it's a skull on both sides. Like, what's the point of that? I think that's just they didn't have any other design to use on the other side, so it's a skull on both sides. So I guess if one side wears out, you can use the other side. The same thing happened with the Joe Manganiello quest pack. I mean, his extra box of stuff in the Mythic tier, like, you flip the tiles over and it's the same image on both sides. It's like they didn't have an extra image, because normally it's either black, like it's completely blank, or white, there's nothing there, or it's an alternate. So it'd be like frozen ice on one side and then like a pit trap on the other, or like a secret door on one side and a crystal key on the other, something like that. You know, you would never want it so that, oh, you need both things at once but they're on opposite sides. You need it on a separate tile. But yeah, so they just didn't have anything extra. There's some other things that we could show here. Okay, so second draft. It's really interesting to see the notes, and some of them are hard to read. So Mage of the Mirror. Actually, why are we looking at this? Let's go back to... Okay. Changes to apply. Okay, some of these I'm seeing for the first time. Interesting. Yeah, see, I looked carefully at the barbarian stuff, but not necessarily the elf stuff before I started here. Let's see. Just looking for anything that jumps out. Heavy fog. Isn't this the same as Tempest? Changed to dispel as in Wizpack. Aha. Ancient Staff of Elven Wisdom, not just the Ancient Staff. Oh, that was a question. Yeah, some of these artifacts, it's like, which ones can the elf use? Because some of them say the elf, but it doesn't say an elf only. Elven Cloak can only be worn by elves. Elven Boots, it doesn't say. So it's like it's made by elves, but it can be used by anyone. So that was a little confusing to some people. Because some people say, well, if elf is in the title, only elves should be able to use it. But why? I didn't do that. Change to flashback. Twisted wood instead of twistwood. Very minor changes here. Fire Mirage was the original name of Hypnotic Blaze. Okay. Alright, let's... I'm wondering if there were fewer changes to the Elf Quest pack. I wonder if the Elf Quest pack was finished first. I guess I don't know that for sure. First draft with comments. All right. There's a lot of stuff in here. Well, anyway, I'm not trying to cover everything, but let me just, interest of spoilers, let me just hop out of here. Yeah, so thanks again to Luca Paci for sharing this information. I mean, I'm cool with the fact that he gives certain people like heads up to release stuff ahead of time. Sometimes that person's me, sometimes it's Amalgamash, sometimes it's somebody else. I mean, it kind of makes it fun because it's like, ooh, a new exclusive, you know, it's my turn, you know. But some of this stuff, I mean, has only certain people been, I mean, he's been able to see it before anybody else. But I'm glad the fact that he's released it out there. He hasn't just like kept it to himself, because he could have done that. He could have just not told anybody. But then, what's the point of getting all that stuff if you can't share it? So I'm glad that it's out there. Potion of Vision, Potion of Restoration. Yeah, seeing the designer notes and seeing the jokes like as time went on, and either they were just becoming friends and bonding, or they were getting more frustrated trying to finish. There was some debate over, well, what about the other quest packs? And Amalgamash said this in his video. Definitely go check that out. Talking about, like, if you own one of the quest packs, but you don't own the other ones, like they're saying, well, the Alchemist shop only has 4 potions, and 3 of them can only be used by 1 hero. So what's everybody else supposed to buy? Well, if you own other quest packs, you can use those Alchemist shops to buy potions. Okay, that's cool, but you're kind of like demanding that the players buy those other quest packs so that they can have access to them. Of course, nowadays people can just go online and go, huh, what other potions were there? Oh, here they are, and just throw them into their quest. Or you could just make something up. They debate a lot about which things should actually be on cards and which things should be on tiles, or which should be figures. And I mean, they had limited space. They had a limited budget, time, so they couldn't just make a huge pile of plastic. They had to decide, you know, is this going to be a miniature, or are we going to have it not at all, or is it going to be on a tile? If it's going to be on a tile, it's got to fit on the tile sheet and everything. So they were working within limitations, and that is a key thing. And I'm sure Avalon Hill today is working within limitations. We don't know what those are, but we just get a glimpse into the world of that. Plus, we think about, what are they doing now? Well, they're working with someone else's work from decades ago, and they're either tweaking that and then releasing it, or they're using that as possible inspiration for their own ideas. Because if they know the fans know about it, then maybe they're going to make a nod to it. Like in Into the Northlands, we got Snowdasher, a wolf. I mean, you think, well, a wolf companion for a hero is pretty easy to guess, right? But guess what? That was part of the part of the Wizard Quest pack, is that he gets an animal companion. It's like, oh, how cool is that? Not the same animal, but similar idea. So it's cool to see that, and it's like a nod. It's just like saying Adventure Design Kit. Like, that may not mean anything to a casual player who's just heard of HeroQuest, but the fact that people knew that there was an actual product called the Adventure Design Kit, it's like, oh yeah, they remembered it. You know, it's a reference. It's like, I gotcha. You know, it's almost like a tease, and maybe something more is going to come out along those lines. So the Elven Boots are called the Elven Boots of Speed. Sinestra, that someone wrote Frank Sinestra. Strangers in the night, doobie doobie doo. Yeah, there's jokes in this one too. Mike G, yeah. Yeah, there's jokes about the Guinness Book of World Records. There's Glynis Finn. Speed is your only ally now. Someone sarcastically quipped, oh wow, the heroes are going to do drugs, man. Don't do it. Winners don't use drugs. Okay. Just looking through other notes here. It says this first hero to search for treasure in this room finds a small jar of thick metallic cream on the bench. If this cream is rubbed on a hero's armor, no damage is suffered from the next monster attack that would have caused damage to the hero. The cream wears off after preventing damage from one attack. Then someone wrote, change to Heroic Brew, main game system, per Mike G. Long, wordy sentence needs to be rewritten. Yeah, so cream that makes your armor take no damage from an attack. It's like, okay, that's an interesting idea. Wasn't used in the finished version. The Elven Bow of Vindication. Okay, I'm just scanning through the notes looking for anything that might look different. The thing is, like, I spent like a whole day looking through the notes originally, but these are new ones, so I haven't necessarily seen all these. Yeah, they changed the amount of gold. Originally, I think the gold rewards for the Elf quest pack and the Barbarian quest pack were a lot less than what you got. But you did get a case of frozen yogurt along with your gold after beating the Frozen Horror. Just telling you. So just remember that when you guys are playing the Frozen Horror at the end, they don't just get the gold, they get a case of frozen yogurt. And those are refrigerator doors that lead into the quest, not just iron doors. As far as I can tell, this page is blank. Is this correct? Not if Zargon has his way. Okay, I gotta just show you that. It's just cheesy enough. I mean, developers are human beings. I mean, they make jokes and they drink their coffee and all that stuff, just like anybody else. It's just they happen to have a very interesting job creating entertainment for us. Not if Zargon has his way. And that's true, because Zargon is the ultimate authority in the HeroQuest world. All right, well, I think that's pretty much it. Was there anything else we needed to cover? I think that's pretty much all the topics. We talked about the companion app being updated, Barbarian Blades, the Lukapashi notes, Elviler's awesome interview with Doug Hopkins and Stephen Baker, Amalgamash's awesome video about Gen Con, and we are having the Rantcast this Thursday. If all goes well, Thursday evening, 9 p.m. Central Standard Time with The Strange Bus. And we, on HeroQuest fans, will be having our usual Saturday game, 6 to 10 p.m. Unless something comes up, but I'm pretty sure we'll be all on board for that. We'll be continuing the Deadly Depths. So let's see. Let's get out of this companion app. So I've just goofed up this whole quest. It's all messed up now. But in BlueStacks here, let's just
find the wood.
Reveal quest hints. Oh, okay. Wait a minute. Oh, I think I made it crash. I clicked on it too quickly. Whoops-a-daisy. Yeah, he was talking. I was going to click on reveal quest hints. Maybe that's not ready yet. All right, that's okay. We'll just close the app if we can. Just launch BlueStacks again. It always shows this ad. But again, this is just an emulator. This is not the only one. This is just the one that I happen to get working. If you're running it on a smartphone, you won't see any of that stuff. Probably work much better. Yeah, so if I uncheck the SLI Crossfire Capture Mode and check it again, whoops. It crashed again. That's all right. Okay, well, all right. Well, thank you for joining me on HeroQuest Fans today on this news wrap-up. It was kind of spur of the moment. I mean, all day long I was just like, oh man, I got to do this update. And it was kind of hard because my internet was going in and out. I was trying to get work done. But thanks for joining us. And definitely check us out on the Discord. and we'll be posting this up. These videos that we do on Twitch will appear on YouTube within 24 hours, because that's the rule. So I'll just put my usual info back up, and we'll catch you next time on HeroQuest fans. Thanks everybody. Have a great night. Stay cool, and if you're at Gen Con, if you're going to Gen Con, be safe. Bring back some useful, helpful, cool, interesting information and swag about HeroQuest, and post it in the Discord, post on Yield post it in the Twitch chat next time, whatever you got to do, and I'm sure there'll be some interesting stuff in the next few days. All right, and thanks to Avalon Hill for bearing with us as fans, helping us out and appreciating it as us as much as you do, because I really am convinced that they are not only conscious of the fans, but they're trying to give us what we want, and I like that. So I hope that the company continues to listen to what the fans have to say, not just a couple people on Twitter, but the larger community. I think they have a good handle on it, and I think I hope they continue to do that. I hope the fans continue to appreciate it, give them that positive, constructive feedback. I mean, you don't have to say something's good if it's not, but just be open. And I think if we have that give and take relationship, that's a good way to build a community back. It's a good way to build that rapport. And if they're a smart company, they'll continue to build that relationship, and we'll have many more fun years together of HeroQuest being on store shelves and new HeroQuest products coming out that are actually worthwhile, that are worth buying.